Thank you for taking the time to meet with me to discuss RTI and how to implement it in your classroom. Of course! I have heard many great things about RTI and I'm excited to learn more. However, I do have a few questions that I'm hoping they will answer. Yes, well, first let me start by saying we need to clear all the judgments on whether things are good or bad. And we'll first explain to you what RTI is and the reasoning behind it, and maybe you will understand. Maybe that will answer some of your questions. Okay, sounds great. I have a few minutes until I have to pick up my students from recess. I will start by giving you the basis of RTI. RTI stands for Response to Intervention, and within RTI there are 3 tiers. I am sure that in your own classroom you are already incorporating RTI and you don't even know it. Do you pull small groups for a daily 5? I do actually. So when I'm working with small groups, is that one of the tiers you were talking about? Yes. Pulling students into small groups to work on a skill, whether it be writing capital letters at the beginning of a sentence or adding an end punctuation mark, that's considered Tier 2. Students are receiving small group instruction. So what are the other 2 tiers? Along with Tier 2, there's Tier 1 and Tier 3. The first tier is also something that you incorporate every day. The first tier is whole class instruction that follows along with the Common Core. And the third tier is more intense and more one-on-one time than Tier 2. Tier 3 is for those students who struggled after Tier 2 interventions and are sometimes those students who qualify for special education services. Okay, that makes sense. How do you know what the students need for Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions? Well, that's actually a great question. I recently created a problem and intervention matrix with assessments that correspond to foundational skills. For example, my matrix is on base 10 blocks. If during the first week students are struggling with the assessments, then they need the Tier 2 instruction. What would those interventions look like in a classroom? Well, for example, you might have a student who is really struggling with building a number with the base 10 blocks. You could then pull that student along with 2 others who are also struggling with that skill and practice. One of the interventions that I included in my matrix is using edible base 10 blocks. So, instead of using plastic base 10 blocks to build a number, use marshmallows for the 1s and mini pretzel sticks for 10s. Wow, edible base 10 blocks? I like that idea. How long would these interventions last, and how often would it happen? The interventions would last about 15 minutes every day. However, for Tier 2, you should only have groups of 3 to 4 students who really so you can connect with them, and this will help you in being present to what is happening and present to your reactions. What are the other students doing while you're working with the Tier 2 students? Very good question. I'm not sure if you do reading or math workshop in your classroom. Yes, I actually implement both. Okay, well that works perfect then. Other students will be engaged in some sort of activity that follows along with the Common Core and assignments. In my first grade classroom, it took a lot of modeling and practicing for them to understand that what it should look like and sounds like during this workshop time, so I could effectively work with my Tier 2 students. When you have these guidelines in place, you are closing the exits of escape, denial, and blame. Wow, I really feel like I have a good understanding of RTI now and how to implement it. However, why is this method so important to use in my classroom? Well, RTI allows you to differentiate and meet the needs of all students. I know that in my classroom I have a wide range of abilities, and by using RTI effectively and with fidelity, I am confident that I'm doing everything that I can to help my students. Wow, I am eager to apply these new ideas in my classroom. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and meet with me. Of course, please let me know if you have any other questions. My door is always open.
Created using Powtoon.